The future of DevOps, I hope, from my perspective, is going to be boring. My name is Cherwin Nooitmeer. I live in London. I'm a DevOps engineer or consultant, and I've been working for Coder Society since January 2019. So before being self-employed, I worked at different companies. The two notable companies are Spotify. Everyone knows about Spotify. That was back in 2013, I started there. After that, I went to Palantir Technologies. It was a very interesting company. You can look them up. There are programmers that write software that need to run on computers. We call them servers. And when a programmer writes software, someone needs to put that software on the computers, right? So people like you and me can access Facebook.com and see pictures of cats, right? Like the process from getting the software from a developer to one of the computers that Facebook has, because you can imagine they have a lot of them. How you do that, that is where DevOps comes in. So you write it and you have to put it in production. And the gap in between, that's what my focus is. And I try to reduce that gap so it's instant basically. Companies have started to realize if you have good DevOps processes, you can deliver value to the customer faster. You can just outperform all your competitors. The future of DevOps, I hope, from my perspective, is going to be boring. DevOps will become more mature, so we get better tools and better ways of doing things, testing, doing infrastructure in a way that is reliable and fast. And hopefully my job will be a commodity, so I can work on other things and basically add even more value to customers. So what we need to do is make sure that we can run software, we can update it, we can roll back things, etc. These are similar things that every company needs to do. So Google came and they basically understood and standardized the way of rolling out software, deploying this to users, making sure that everything works fine. And they basically extracted that learning into a product. And that product is Kubernetes. And people like we use Kubernetes to basically build platforms so we can enable companies to deliver value to customers faster. What I do think about Kubernetes is that a lot of people see this, they see it's awesome, and they all try to use it. I think that's a mistake. There's a lot of hype around Kubernetes, but Kubernetes also adds a lot of complexity, and I think the complexity gets overshadowed by the hype. People think it's fine and it just works and you can use it. But what I do think is this complexity that is there is necessary, because if you're not going to use the complexity of Kubernetes, what's going to happen is you're going to create your own system that is that you need to maintain and also develop. Because it's not only software that we use to service users, you also need to write software to service the servers, if that makes any sense, right? And if you're gonna write it yourself, what happens if you hire a new guy? And a new guy comes in and it's okay, now you have to explain that new guy how your complexity works. So instead of using a complexity that everyone knows, you're gonna create your own complexity, and now you have to teach everyone about your own complexity, and you need to maintain it. So it's just a trade-off. What are you gonna do? I mean, if you can get away with having less complexity and you have a very simple problem, then maybe Kubernetes is not the right thing for you.